India is truly a peculiar country. It boasts about replacing China as the world's factory, yet its foreign direct investment inflow in 2025 plummeted by up to 98% year-on-year. A nation that hasn't completed industrialization, with manufacturing accounting for only 15% of GDP, has consumption making up half of its GDP. Shockingly, a large portion of this comes from agricultural consumption. Could India's cow dung economy have miraculously propelled its GDP past $4 trillion, surpassing Japan? This is a country that cannot produce urea domestically and relies heavily on imports from China. After China restricted urea exports, India's agricultural fertilizer supply faced a severe crisis. In negotiations with the United States, the U.S. firmly demanded that India open its agricultural market. How will India's smallholder farming system, which provides 42% of employment and contributes significantly to consumption-driven GDP, compete with America's mechanized agriculture? If India unilaterally opens its market to U.S. agricultural products, it will likely violate WTO rules, prompting trade partners like China and ASEAN to file complaints. If fair resolutions are not achieved, they may initiate trade sanctions against India. How will India face this dilemma? Many economists, including Indian experts, believe India's GDP data is heavily inflated, conservatively estimated to be overstated by over $1 trillion. To win votes, Modi's BJP government continuously manipulates statistical methods to exaggerate figures. Such deception may entertain India's delusional fans with nationwide celebrations, but investors aren't fools. Foreign capital flight is clear evidence. I recall Paki Sharma mocking capital leaving China to bet on India. Less than a year later, reality has delivered a resounding slap in the face. I've always enjoyed making accurate predictions about India's bleak future on my show, with a near 100% accuracy rate. Modi's and his clownish colleagues' tricks are not sophisticated, resembling traditional pyramid schemes or frauds, amplified by religious charlatans peddling false prosperity to deceive Indian citizens. However, this cannot truly enhance India's competitiveness. In the global division of labor, India not only fails to compete with powerhouses like China, the US, Japan, and Europe, but also lacks any edge against emerging forces like Southeast Asia, Mexico, and Brazil. Modi's refusal to join RCEP was fundamentally because Indian companies cannot compete with ASEAN firms under equal conditions. For votes, Modi dares not tell the public the truth, resorting to GDP manipulation and blaming RCEP terms as unfair to India. All nations seeking industrialization must adopt advanced technologies from industrial powers, attract foreign investment, and improve their investment climate to host foreign factories. India, however, does the opposite. To earn foreign exchange and ease debt pressure, Modi prioritizes exporting labor in trade agreements with countries like Singapore and the UK. To boast about India's might, Modi adopts a hardline stance against China, banning Chinese apps, suppressing Chinese firms, and escalating border conflicts. He forgets that China is the world's factory. Without Chinese goods, raw materials, components, and machinery, India cannot industrialize. When China imposed export controls on rare earths, urea, chemicals, and machinery, India's fragile industrial system immediately went into shock. Industries like automotive, agriculture, and pharmaceuticals pressured Modi, leading even Paki Sharma to report that India welcomes Chinese tourists, allows China-India joint ventures, and seeks to restart ties with China. Yet she seems to forget that China will never trust India again. For such a duplicitous nation, China wields a stick, striking whenever it sees fit. International capital gave India a chance. When tensions rose between China and the West, many global firms invested in India, creating brief prosperity and absorbing significant employment. However, these firms soon discovered that India is riddled with corruption, has woefully inadequate infrastructure, and possesses poor industrial quality, laziness, and a lack of discipline. Its learning capacity lags far behind China and even Vietnam. The Indian government frequently uses tax audits to extort foreign companies, imposing hefty fines on fully legal operations or forcing technology transfers and production line sales to local firms. Consequently, foreign capital began withdrawing, leaving this investment graveyard to its own delusions. I mentioned in previous videos that neither Western firms like Volkswagen and Ford nor East Asian companies like Samsung and Xiaomi can adapt to India's hellish business environment. Foxconn regretted its massive investment in India, with product qualification rates far below China's. Some high-end models must be shipped back to China for retesting and production. Yet my truthful reports were accused by Indian netizens of being jealous of India's rise, claiming China is being abandoned by the world. The reality is that China's imports and exports continue to grow, with its trade surplus nearing $600 billion in the first half of 2025. Breaking $1.1 or even $1.2 trillion for the full year is within reach, setting another record in human history. I told them I mock India to earn some video revenue, but my channel never fabricates. All of India's flaws I mention are true and largely international consensus. If you want to counter me, fix these shortcomings. Make India a credible nation, clean and hygienic, with improving citizen quality. That's the best rebuttal. Instead, Indian fans choose to mass report me to YouTube, hoping to shut down my channel. I asked them, if my channel is closed, will India's flaws vanish? Will other nations respect India? Will foreign capital return? India need not despair. Amid Trump's global tariff war, his warnings to companies like Apple against investing in India have created a chilling effect. Over time, foreign firms will still invest in India due to its massive market size. But India must seize these opportunities and stop its repugnant tactics. Also, stop preaching about China-India friendship. Chinese firms have given up on India. Leave your great investment opportunities to Western companies. Best wishes.